Barry Allen. I am the fastest man alive.
Hello everybody, how are we all doing? I hope having a good week so far. So today is Wednesday, the 22nd of October 2014. We're back with The Flash, episode 3, titled Things You Can't Outrun. Brilliant episode from start to finish. This is where we meet Robbie Amel's Ronnie Raymond for the first time. It's actually more of a flashback centric episode as well. We go back again 9 months to when the particle accelerator was turned on, and obviously the accident and the particle accelerator, going faulty, malfunctioning. We find out what happened to Ronnie, and again Harrison Wells. I'll come back to him in a moment, okay? But first of all, the villain of this particular episode is a character that has the ability to turn himself into a toxic gas mist kind of thing. He was actually a prisoner who was on death row, was given, death by gas as such, but something happened, and it would have been during the particle accelerator malfunctioning that this guy was able to gain the ability to transform and become this toxic mist kind of thing. So he's seeking revenge against the people who put him behind bars and eventually convicted him and also sentenced him to death, essentially. Barry doesn't know how to go up against this guy, so it's really difficult for him to try and take on someone who has the ability to dissolve his DNA and have Barry inhale the gas as well, which is quite effective in some sense. Speaking of effective, the effects again top notch. I mean, I'm loving the show so much, and the way that they do the speed effects and everything else is just brilliant. It really is brilliant. There was a lovely little touch of an Easter egg in this episode, and it takes place, and it's actually in the Central City Police Department. It's a massive, big sort of plaque, and it's got 3 words on the bottom that basically say truth, liberty, and justice. But if you look at the characters featured, you'll notice a nice little Justice League theme going on, so it's very, very good, really interesting. I really liked it, so I thought that was good. Eddie Thawne does something unexpected. I say he does something unexpected, but he almost got not just himself but also Iris West in trouble. He turns up at Iris West's house whilst her dad is there as well. Okay, that was interesting. Yeah, so talk about cutting it fine and getting yourself into trouble. Yeah, very, very interesting. As I mentioned earlier, obviously the particle accelerator, malfunctioning. As we know as yet, obviously there's other meta-humans out there, and this particular meta-human that's featured in this episode, known as, I tell you what, I love how Cisco comes up with interesting code names for these villains. I mean, last week we had Multiplex. This week it's the characters known as The Mist. So Cisco is really enjoying naming these characters. So we've got The Mist, as we're going to call him, The Mist. So they obviously have a problem in that they don't know where to contain this character, this guy, because he has the ability to turn himself into a mist. And that's where I believe it was Harrison as well as Cisco decided to use the base of S.T.A.R Labs, where the particle accelerator itself is housed, as a makeshift prison for metahumans. And it does work quite well. But as I say, because it's quite a flashback-centric episode, Cisco, Harrison, and also Caitlin Snow, who's probably hit the hardest out of all 3 of them, all have flashbacks of that day, what happened 9 months ago, and especially Caitlin with Ronnie in particular. Ronnie was essentially a hero. But all I'm going to say is that what we saw was quite the firestorm. That's all I'm going to add on that one. as I say, this guy, this Mist, is obviously going after people who were involved in his arrest, conviction, and eventually him being sentenced to death. And the arresting officer, or the person who was the detective at the time, was none other than Joe West himself. So he's on the guy's list. And there's a point of where Barry is saving Joe, and his dad, obviously Joe's gone to see his dad in prison, Barry's dad, that is. And when Barry comes to save Joe, he looks at his dad, but he does something so that his dad doesn't actually recognise him, even though he's got the costume on, the mask on and everything. But he does something so that Henry has no idea that the guy who's just saved Joe's life is in fact his own son. And it was very effective. I thought it was pretty effective. Barry is learning all these powers very slowly, excuse me, but he is learning, so that's good. Excuse me. But the end, again, what is going on with Harrison Wells? Because when we get to the flashback again, it's almost, I can't tell you because I will spoil it. But all I'm going to do is I'm going to link an article that was featured on the Flash TV News website that they posted last night just after the episode aired on the East Coast, and they've got theories about Harrison Wells. But all I'm going to say is I may have been wrong about Eddie Thawne. All I'm going to say on that. So I'll link it at the bottom. So if you want to check the theories, there are spoilers involved. If you want to check the theories, by all means do, and just tell me what you think, okay? But yeah, next week's episode, Captain Cold arrives. Looking forward to seeing Wentworth Miller. We have a live-action Captain Cold, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I'm excited as well, so I can't wait. And Felicity Smoke is coming over from Arrow as well, because she wants to see what Barry's all about now that he can run faster than the speed of sound. So that'll be interesting. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you all very much for watching. See you all very soon. Bye.